was wrapped in a cocoon of silence, broken only by the distant hoots of an owl. The path we trod was overgrown, nature reclaiming its dominion. And there, rising from the heart of the woods, stood the forgotten relic, an ancient mansion, its stones etched with tales untold. Part 1. The Abandoned Mansion. As we drew near, the moon's pallid glow seemed to shy away, leaving the mansion swathed in shadow. Each footfall reverberated through the stillness, a metronome to our mounting trepidation. The front door, adorned with intricate carvings, stood ajar, a beckoning portal to an enigmatic world. Hesitation clawed at us, a voice of caution in the recesses of our minds. Yet, the pull of the unknown was too potent to resist. With bated breath, we dared to cross the threshold, stepping into a realm untouched by the relentless march of time. Part 2. The Haunting Whispers. Inside, the mansion's grandeur had succumbed to a sepulchral hush. Dusty chandeliers hung like forgotten dreams, their crystals dulled by the years. A peculiar chill hung in the air, a spectral breath that sent shivers coursing through our veins. The floorboards protested beneath our weight, their groans echoing through the empty halls. Portraits of long-forgotten faces lined the walls, eyes following our every move with a disquieting intensity. As we ventured further, the once imposing rooms now seemed like faded remnants of opulence, draped in tattered tapestries and cloaked in the scent of decay. It was the whispers that drew us deeper, a haunting symphony of voices from the past. They were elusive, like fleeting shadows, leaving only a residue of unease. We strained to catch their words, but they remained just beyond comprehension, a cryptic chorus that seemed to rise from the very walls themselves. In one chamber, a forgotten piano stood, its keys coated in a layer of dust. With trembling fingers, I dared to press a key, unleashing a mournful, discordant note that seemed to reverberate through the house. It was as if the very soul of the mansion responded, a mournful wail that resonated in the marrow of our bones. As the night wore on, time seemed to blur, the boundary between reality and phantasmagoria growing thin. Shadows danced in the corners of our vision, and whispers grew louder, their meaning forever just out of reach. We were intruders in a realm beyond our understanding, guests at a spectral banquet where the courses were served in the language of the departed. Part 3. The Mirror's Gaze. In a forgotten chamber, we stumbled upon a massive, ornate mirror, its glass murky with age. Its frame was a masterpiece of intricate carvings, depicting scenes of forgotten lore. As we stood before it, our reflections seemed distorted, as if the mirror held a secret truth. With trepidation, I reached out to touch its surface. The glass was unnaturally cold, sending a jolt through my fingertips. The moment my hand made contact, the air around us seemed to ripple, and the room grew colder still. The reflection in the mirror shifted, revealing a scene not of the mansion, but of a moonlit cemetery, tombstones looming like sentinels in the night. A gasp escaped my lips, and my friends crowded around, their faces a mix of wonder and terror. It was as if the mirror held a portal to another realm, a window into a world beyond our own. We dared not step through, but the allure of the unknown tugged at our curiosity. As we gazed into the mirror, a soft chant filled the room, a chorus of voices from the other side. They spoke in a language ancient and arcane, their words like tendrils of mist that curled around our senses. It was a siren song beautiful and foreboding, beckoning us to unravel the mysteries it held. Hours slipped by in that chamber, the boundaries of time and space seeming to blur. The mirror held us in its thrall, a bridge between worlds, a gateway to the supernatural. We were but moths drawn to a flame, unable to resist the pull of the spectral abyss. And then, in an instant, the mirror's surface shattered, sending fragments of glass scattering like fallen stars. The room fell into an oppressive silence, the voices silenced, the chant extinguished. We stood in the aftermath, breathless and trembling, our hearts pounding in our chests. In that shattered glass, we glimpsed the abyss, and it gazed back at us. Part 4, the Whispering Gallery. With the mirror now shattered, a palpable tension hung in the air, as if the mansion itself held its breath. We moved cautiously through the echoing halls, the whispers seeming to grow louder, more insistent. It was as if the very walls were alive, their secrets yearning to be known. In a chamber adorned with faded tapestries, we stumbled upon a gallery of portraits. Each face bore an expression of haunting melancholy, their eyes following our every move. As we studied them, a realization settled upon us. These were not mere paintings, but windows into the souls of those long gone. With a sense of trepidation, I reached out to touch one of the portraits, my fingers grazing the canvas. The world seemed to shift, and suddenly, I stood in a moonlit garden, roses heavy with dew, the scent of earth and blossoms filling the air. It was a memory, a moment frozen in time, belonging to someone who had once walked these grounds. The others joined me, their breaths held in a mix of wonder and dread. We moved from one portrait to the next, each unveiling a fragment of the mansion's history, each revealing a story untold. It was a tapestry of lives, intertwined with the very fabric of the house, a chronicle of joys and sorrows, etched in paint and canvas. As we delved deeper into the gallery, the air grew heavier, the weight of the past pressing upon us. The whispers became urgent, their cadence rising in a ghostly crescendo. It was as if the spirits trapped within the portraits yearned to tell their tales, to share their truths with the living. And then, with a final, mournful sigh, the gallery fell into silence. The portraits watched us with empty eyes, their stories told, their voices stilled. We stood in the fading light, the weight of history settling upon our shoulders. In that chamber of whispers, we had glimpsed the echoes of lives long past. Part 5, the Labyrinthine Depths. As we ventured deeper into the mansion, the corridors seemed to twist and turn, forming a labyrinth of forgotten passages. Shadows danced on the periphery of our vision, and the air grew thick with a sense of foreboding. It was as if the very architecture of the house sought to confound us, to lead us further into its enigmatic depths. We stumbled upon a chamber unlike any we had seen before. The walls were lined with shelves, each bearing an array of dusty tomes and ancient manuscripts. It was a library frozen in time, a sanctuary of forgotten knowledge. With trembling hands, we reached out to touch the spines, as if seeking to unlock the mysteries they held. As we perused the pages, we uncovered tales of arcane rituals and long-lost magics. The words seemed to pulse with a latent power, their meaning both tantalizing and elusive. It was a repository of secrets, a trove of esoteric wisdom hidden within the heart of the mansion. In a corner of the chamber, we discovered a tattered journal, its pages yellowed with age. The ink had faded, but The words spoke of a presence that dwelled within the walls, a force beyond mortal understanding. It spoke of a darkness that hungered, that yearned for release. With trepidation, we read on, the words drawing us further into the mystery. The journal hinted at a ritual, a key to unlocking the mansion's secrets. It was a path fraught with peril, a journey into the heart of the unknown. As the night wore on, we debated whether to heed the journal's cryptic guidance. The air grew colder, and the whispers seemed to grow more insistent, urging us to unravel the final enigma. It was a choice that would seal our fate, a decision to confront the darkness that dwelled within. And so, with hearts pounding, we made our choice, determined to uncover the truth that lay hidden in the mansion's labyrinthine depths. Part 6. The Unholy Revelation. Guided by the journal's cryptic instructions, we found ourselves in a chamber adorned with ancient symbols etched into the stone floor. Candles flickered, casting dancing shadows that seemed to mimic the writhing forms of forgotten spirits. The air grew heavy with a palpable energy, a sense of anticipation that hung like a shroud. With trembling hands, we began to enact the ritual. Each step measured, each incantation spoken with a mix of reverence and trepidation. The room seemed to pulse with a malevolent presence, as if the very walls were alive with a sinister energy. As the final words left our lips, a surge of power coursed through the chamber, the air crackling with an otherworldly force. Shadows seemed to coalesce, forming a shape that loomed before us, a manifestation of the darkness that had dwelled within the mansion. Its presence was suffocating, a malevolence that seemed to seep into our very souls. It spoke in a voice that echoed with the weight of centuries, a chorus of anguished souls bound together in an unholy union. It revealed truths that shattered our understanding, secrets that should have remained buried in the depths of the past. In that chamber, we faced a revelation beyond our comprehension, a force that defied the boundaries of the mortal realm. It was a confrontation with the unknown, a dance with the very essence of terror. As the ritual reached its climax, the mansion seemed to groan and shudder, as if recoiling from the unleashed power. And then, in an instant, it was over. The darkness receded, leaving us standing in a chamber transformed by our encounter. We had glimpsed the abyss, and it had stared back at us with eyes of eternal night. Part 7. The Vanishing. With the ritual concluded, we stood in the chamber, breathless and trembling. The air seemed to hang heavy with a newfound stillness, as if the very essence of the mansion held its breath in the aftermath of our encounter. The darkness had receded, leaving behind an eerie calm. As we turned to leave, a sudden realization settled upon us. The mansion had changed. The walls bore faded tapestries. The floorboards were no longer worn, and the grandeur of the past had returned. It was as if the house itself had rewritten its history, erasing the traces of our intrusion. We retraced our steps through the labyrinthine passages, finding ourselves in the moonlit garden we had glimpsed in the shattered mirror. The roses bloomed in full splendor, their fragrance mingling with the cool night air. It was a scene untouched by time, a moment frozen in eternal beauty. As we stepped beyond the threshold, we turned back to gaze upon the mansion one last time, but it was gone. In its place stood only trees, their branches swaying gently in the night breeze. The mansion had vanished, leaving behind only the memory of our haunting encounter. To To this day, we carry the weight of that night, the knowledge that we had dared to confront a darkness beyond mortal understanding. The mansion and its secrets remain a mystery, a tale whispered in the shadows, a legend woven into the fabric of our lives. And so, we are left with the lingering question: what lies beyond the veil of the unknown, and what secrets remain hidden in the depths of the forgotten mansion? It is a riddle that may never be unraveled, a mystery that will forever haunt our dreams.